Well,
Don't get
that
the clap.
stunk.
Nobody wants the clap.
Bunch of rhythm
I mean-
down here, motherfucker.
Oh my God, I have a good story about VDs too.
Oh
when you
God,
go-
not the VD.
You,
Yeah, dude.
I mean, you might know about it. I mean,
Oh, that's fucked. No, I'm clean.
Well, what's up, folks? We're back here with the second episode of the shit
Back
show.
here talking about people's VD problems.
Yeah, fucking breakfast with Bob.
yeah.
Yeah, we're back.
Breakfast.
Yeah, we're
with
surprisingly back.
Bob.
What's y'all motherfuckers been up to this week?
Oh man,
Cam,
Yeah.
I was real busy this week.
What did you do?
I had a tree fall at my house, so I had to split some wood, and my septic's full, so I had to dig a hole. It's a real busy
Ugh,
week.
ugh.
Yeah.
Like, does
Real
it stink?
shitty
Does
week,
it smell?
actually.
No,
Smelly? No.
did the tree make a sound when it fell?
I didn't hear it, so I don't think so.
So probably not. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like that
probably not.
adage or whatever.
Yeah.
So you had a tree fall and a septic issue. So your week was pretty shitty. Like,
Yeah.
low hanging fruit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Low hanging fruit.
Everything came crashing down. It was a real shit show.
Everything
Nice.
just came back into one center. And it's like, yeah, this is gonna be real shitty this week.
One
Real
out
shitty
of
time
10
with the septic.
would not do it again.
Would not no. Yeah. Okay.
10 out of
about
10
you,
would
John?
not recommend.
Pretty more normal week. I don't know. I was at work. I sent you guys that snapshot of the person that came in and said their car smelled bad, and they had like a thing of panties hanging from their rearview mirror. And like my mind was blown by it. Like, and I'm like talking to people about it. And I play basketball with a bunch of younger people. Now I'm older, whatever. I get it.
Right.
And this young guy told me, he's like, "You don't understand, bro. You're an old head. Like, guys do that now." And I was like, "Excuse me? People are hanging panties from their rearview mirrors. Like, is this a thing?"
So they just
guess
came
so.
in with
They had the panties and like a bunch of
complain
like
about the smell?
but they had a bunch of like air fresheners by the panties, so the panties smelled bad.
There was a problem at some
Fresh.
point.
Fresh linen scent.
And they
They're like,
knew,
oh, new car smell. Yes.
and they knew about it. And like my mind was blown away. And then this kid said, like, "I don't understand. I'm old." And young people hang their panties like a trophy. Is this a thing?
I
mean-
not for me. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know that Hunter would be okay with
I feel
that.
like you have to fuck inside the car to be able to do that. Like if you're just fucking on the street and then you take her panties and then put it up inside your car, that's horrendous.
Who the
Well,
fuck
maybe
just goes
that's-
out and fucks in the street?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're out fucking
typically,
in the street,
typically
gotta
keep
get
it in my
them
fucking
panties
house,
the right
but
way.
that's
Gotta do
fine.
that.
Yeah, but I'm just imagining what kind of person is like the person who's like, yeah, dude, she left her panties. I'm gonna put this up in my car as a little fucking trophy.
And I'm gonna put a bunch of air fresheners beside them to let you
Yeah.
know that I'm a dirty motherfucker.
Big
It's a little
stank.
rough.
Like,
The
yeah.
big
It's a
fucking
rough
stank.
ride.
Yeah. And also, people in Newcastle fucking their cars all the time.
That's true.
Well, I was gonna say I think Mike might be onto something with that. Is that maybe like that's
Street
the thing
fucking.
in the generation? He's definitely not. I mean, well, yeah, that's definitely a thing. in
Mike's into
Newcastle.
voyeurism. He just
But-
likes public stuff.
I think maybe just people who can't afford to have their own house and only fuck in their car are the ones hanging things. Like like teenagers and like people who don't have a home to fuck in.
yeah.
Are
Yeah.
hanging panties.
I think this kid
How,
has a
how
home.
old was this person?
Like 24.
That makes
Oh, that's all. You should have an indoor place to.
sense. By then, at least,
Eh,
at minimum.
Yeah.
And what kind of woman is okay with this fuck trophy hanging from the window? Like,
That's.
I
true,
don't
too.
think that she
feels
gets a
good.
call on it.
she could be one of those.
Yeah, I don't think that was a conversation.
I think that he just grabs her shit and he's just like, look, guys, I'm
taking-
cool as shit.
I'm taking these dirty panties and I'm hanging them. And is that like notches on like a bedpost? Like, is this like a Taylor Swift thing? Panties on the rearview mirror? Like, is this a song?
It's a bad country song.
Oh,
I feel like that. I don't know.
I feel like we could write that.
He's a true gentleman.
Could you do
he
me a
hung my
favor and
panties
stop
from the
shaking the
mirror.
whole table?
Yeah, like I feel like it's a little demeaning, right?
Hey, baby,
Like,
you mind hanging my panties from your mirror
I feel like
as a trophy?
feel like
It's a
the
smell
same
good
dude
trophy.
who thinks that like getting laid is a trophy is probably not the same dude that's like having a conversation with his girlfriend about it. You know?
Yeah.
He's probably not asking permission.
I mean, it was a big pickup truck. I mean, and the kid that told me
Was it a Ford?
has a pickup truck.
Was it a Ford?
I think it was.
Okay.
I
Sure,
think-
those weren't dudes' panties?
I'm noticing. Oh, you never know.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Dude thongs.
Is that a thing?
This
I don't know, it could
actually
be.
might roll into the whole dudes being young and having fucking panties on their shit. I got possibly
I'm sorry.
Panties on their shit.
yeah, they
All
just
right.
got panties in their fucking mirrors. So I got bullied by possibly the coolest dude I've ever seen this week.
Was it for
And-
wearing women's panties?
No, it was just a dude driving by, and we came up to just a road, and you know how like if you go right, you go first if it's a stop sign, right? This dude comes up, and as I'm trying to go, he just juts out.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, whatever, he can go. But then he aggressively fucking mean mugs me, and just the whole fucking time. And it's like, how are you going to be wrong and be
Be a dick about it.
and be a dick about it? But like, also, just like the fact that he had the confidence to keep that straight face and fucking middle finger the whole fucking time. I mean, same guy pretty much.
Did he have panties on his rearview mirror?
I didn't see.
I bet he did.
He was a young guy, but he probably did.
And since he did that to you, you obviously wouldn't have, the balls to have panties on your rearview mirror. So he knew
Yeah, that's true.
he could mess with you.
punked you out
fucking-
right then
Yeah,
and there.
dude.
He fucking
But that
knew.
guy
bullied
also
me on the
probably
fucking
kisses
road.
his dad on the mouth like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady kisses his
You
dad.
know what?
Hey, you know that?
Hey, if
Never
Kiss,
seen the video of Tom Brady kissing his dad on the mouth?
No.
It's a thing. He kisses all of his family on the mouth.
if that gets you that kind of success, bring Bob over. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, Tom Brady's a
Give me
fucking
that
G.
mouth.
Yeah,
No, I'm good, dude.
Come here,
So-
bro. Bring that mouth.
That not fucking happening.
that's European,
mouth
dude. That's
stuff.
just European. You don't understand.
Yeah, that's fine.
Keep
That can
across the
stay
ocean.
in fucking Europe. Yeah, that's fine.
That's why we had the tea party
Yeah.
to keep the mouth kissing away.
My dad and I can hang out and hug. That's fine. That's good.
It's like a Boston Tea Party situation. Kissing dads
I
on
don't even
mouths.
like saying it. It's fucking weird. Shit's
I
not
mean-
okay.
Was it Brian? Of course, was the mouth kissing? Was Brian?
Yeah, it was me.
Of course,
the
it
dad
was.
mouth
Of course
kissing.
it was.
So
Tom
what's
Brady.
Bob been up to this week, dude? You know?
I
Any
mean,
shenanigans? He's
He
not
told,
here.
He told me he didn't watch the State of the Union address, and then he told me about a bunch of things that happened, so that kind of blew my mind. And he asked my opinion on all these things that he didn't see, which I fucking loved. And I mean, like, John, I couldn't watch it. I just couldn't watch it. Did you hear this happen? And like, it wasn't like he had a ton of time. It was like the State of the Union happened like a Wednesday, like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. This was Thursday morning at like 7:30. So like, I guess he could have watched it clips, but he watched the State of the Union address.
He didn't watch it. He woke up and immediately started reading about
Yeah,
it.
he just watched all
he
the videos.
didn't watch it out of
Like,
protest.
shit, this happened.
And like,
Fuck.
and I love him. And like, he always like, I don't watch Fox News. And then he tells me a bunch of shit they saw on Fox News. And he's like, what's your opinion? And I'm like, they all suck. I think we're fucked.
not real into the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, I
I
haven't
mean,
watched the
It's
news in
not-
10 years.
the whole State of the Union address shit, like, it's so stupid to watch because 90% of the time it's just people pandering to their own parties. It's half the people just going, and the other half just standing up and fucking clapping
like,
all day.
yeah.
Like they're not actually doing anything to make the country better.
Yeah.
I will say though, like there was like he was talking like someone like screamed and yelled like something bad about Obama, and it was like or about Biden. And there was like some other politician, and he was like, well, they did something else, so they was okay. I was like, no, being undecent in like that chamber is bad regardless, and like you can just accept that. Like it's not,
Right.
Yeah, it's not two wrongs make a right. Just be a decent. Like it's like Fetterman wore like a fucking hoodie to it. I'm like, that's awful too.
Yeah.
Wear a suit and show some fucking class.
Yeah, show up
Fucking
and be
John
respectful.
Fetterman.
Show some respect
You
for your
goddamn
position
ogre.
in our society.
Yeah.
Please, like for the love of fuck. just try.
Yeah.
A little bit. God damn.
It's
John
like-
Fetterman kind of looks like the homeless man you see on the corner begging for change. He's like, we'll suck dick for a nickel.
And I don't
Give me
even
a-
I don't have a problem with him even personally, but just like that the principle of like showing up to
Yeah,
do your
same.
job looking like
In a
you're ready to
sweatsuit.
do your job. You know what I mean?
I
And
mean,
showing
you have
up in
to
a fucking
imagine.
starter sweatsuit to the campaign.
Yeah, dude, like
Dude, the only reason that he won is because they put him up against a guy who lives in Jersey.
yeah, that's a rough sell.
John Fetterman's from
especially
Pennsylvania. They're like, let's put him against
Yeah.
this guy from Jersey.
Also, I just realized how much you look like whatever the fuck that doctor looked
Dr.
like.
Oz.
Dr. Oz.
Fucking right, bro.
Yeah, John's Dr. Oz.
I've been exercising that jaw.
I feel like that's not the first time you've heard that.
It has, but I've been jawsersizing like crazy.
In his spare time on the weekends, he jawsersizes.
I mean, Facebook was worried about my jaw size. It said it was too thin. They kept trying to get me to like get this thing, and I
Were
bought
they
it.
analyzing
Is there
your
a league
pictures?
for that?
A leak for what?
Or jaws or size?
I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, I'm not as good as some
Brian?
people. Brian, are
Huh?
you in a league for jaws?
Can you find out if there is a league for jaws or size?
Oh, let me go to the
You,
opera
you
here.
got the interwebs
feel
at
like
your
it's a part of
fingertips.
Yeah,
their
I got
slap
that.
Because if
the
so,
web
we're
of my
signing
tits.
John up right fucking
Just like
now.
Spider-Man.
I've only spent like a week doing it.
show you a week.
feel-
That's fine, dude. You're a natural.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
believe
those-
in you.
It was funny because I was talking about the jaw thing at work to some coworkers, and the one kid said to me, unironically, it's like, you didn't use the jaw thing last night, did you? I could see your jaw's looking weak today.
No way.
And I was like, you son of a bitch. I was like, you son of a bitch. Like,
Called you right out.
He said, man, that jaw's weak.
and he was right.
Yeah.
I didn't use it.
Hey, man, your jaw's looking a little
Yeah.
deflated today.
But, you know.
You see you're skipping.
You ain't got a lot of definition in that jaw.
But Dan can get away with saying things. Dan's Asian, like me. I'm 0.6% Asian. So, like, he and I are basically brothers.
How Asian is this guy?
Real Asian.
Real Asian? Like
Yeah.
straight Korean?
I mean, some slanted thing.
Oh, fuck.
I can say it. I can produce a
Right
23andMe.
point.
I have a 23andMe shows I'm Asian, so I can say it.
Okay.
Okay.
He can say it.
Just like ethnic slurs and other
You're
nationalities.
the only one sitting at this table that hasn't done a 23andMe, huh?
No, yeah, I haven't done it.
Yeah,
because,
all
like,
right. Well,
I
we're going to
refuse-
have to work on that, too.
I have not either.
You have not
I
either?
know, I know
my
myself.
sister did, and my family, okay, for the longest fucking time used to be like, yeah, we're Cherokee Indian. We're part Cherokee Indian. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, how? So, like, fucking everybody's like, yo, bro, you're American Indian. I'm like, cool. We get the fucking, she gets her shit back and goes, you guys are, like, white as fuck. So it's
Yeah,
like, you're,
weird.
you're part Italian and German and some, like, Polish and some other random shit.
You're
So,
just
like,
from Newcastle.
So every holiday outing that we have and the whole family's together is like, hey, remember that time we were lied to about being Native American? Everybody's like, shut the fuck up. On your grandfather's side, we were Native American. I said, yeah, that's his side of the family. That's not like fucking me.
That's not
I'm like
us.
a mudblood. I'm a goddamn mudblood at this point.
Yeah, and
Heinz
that's
57.
You're an
like, what's-
American, I guess.
this
Throw that in
story
a
is
vat.
exactly why I won't do it, because I know that I'm going to be that guy where if I find out that I'm Native American, I'll just bring it up during every conversation.
I need
Anytime-
reparations for
Yeah,
the times of the
anytime
stolen land
that,
by
like-
Christopher Columbus.
Anytime that anything is completely like against me, I'll just be like, well, you know, I didn't actually invade this country because I'm like 0.3% Indian.
Wasn't me.
Also,
Yeah.
in case you guys are wondering, there's not a such thing as jaw sizing.
No.
I can
Google
prove you
cannot
wrong right
find
now.
anything of a jaw
I mean, I
size.
have a
We can prove you
jawline
wrong right
exerciser.
now.
I have a
Well, if you
jawline
pull
exercise
it up.
right here. Like right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
If you build it, they will
Yeah.
come.
That's what she said.
And, I mean, it's safer than surgery, it says.
yeah.
And it's teeth friendly.
Well,
and
that's
it's
good.
perfectly
That's good.
designed.
That's
know?
always a plus.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that's only good for those slap fighting things, where those dudes just slap fight each other. Have you seen those
yeah.
videos?
Yeah, they,
that's,
they have a
probably
women's
what they're
league,
using.
too. It's part of the whole thing.
It's like
There's a
build up
women's league?
jaw
Yeah,
resiliency.
they do men and women. And
Aw,
it's the dude that does, what's his name? He does all the UFC stuff.
Dana
Dana
White.
White.
Yep, Dana
Yeah.
White does it.
So I actually saw those fucking those women league things. Now that I'm thinking about it, and dude,
it's part of the
those-
same thing. They do, like, televised episodes.
They do 'em
Yeah.
up in Erie, like pretty regular. They have like an amateur league up in Erie.
They're like, let's get the most butch woman up here to hit the most, craziest looking
Dude,
dude
this-
right in the face.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Those women look nice. They look like they would
do.
murder me. They also,
He's like, come on, baby, put me in a chokehold.
They look nice.
they
look
also,
friendly.
you know,
Choke me just like
90%
this.
of them, 90% of them all have fades. I don't know why, but
They got
they
fucking
look
high
like,
taper fades.
Well,
I want them to dominate.
if there are any female slap competitors out there,
Yeah.
We would love to interview
yeah,
you.
I mean,
and Mike
you're
would like
more
to
than
have
welcome
sex
on the
with
show.
Mike says, please
Maybe
let
not
me use your
have
thighs
sex,
as
maybe
earmuffs,
just fight you.
please.
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe both. But he will hang your panties from the mirror if
His
you have
rearview
sex with
mirror.
him.
Not
Or,
just
or
once,
slap him
but
either. I mean,
twice.
probably either one.
Tell you what, the winner of the slap competition between you and your future slap bride, the winner gets the panties of the other.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And they
Yeah,
have
that
to
makes
hang
sense.
them from the mirror.
yeah, the dominant partner
Plot
gets
twist.
to keep the panties of
Mike
the other
wears
one.
tighty whities. Plot
And then
twist.
she'll have to
Oh,
hang those.
that's
She'll
bro.
be like, yo, bro, put this on your mirror. She
she'll
probably
be-
drives a Subaru because she's butch.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that makes
Start
sense.
calling
Yeah.
her Subaru.
She drives
the,
an
the
Outback.
brown streak.
Or a fucking Forester.
Then she's not sleeping with
They're
Mike.
good cars, man.
Yeah, that's true.
She's not sleeping with Mike if she
what if
drives
they
that
thought
Subaru.
Mike was a lesbianist here?
You thought I was a lesbian?
He's like,
You think he looks like a lesbian? You think he looks like a lesbian?
Yeah. Do you think I look
No.
like a lesbian?
they could be confused because they're intoxicated.
Should he use the jaw exerciser?
We should
I
all use
100%
it.
should.
and
I mean,
then
there's
compare
there's
jaw
four,
lines.
there's 4 different levels. I'm on
Oh,
level
God.
3.
I'm.
We could all
I
do
just-
it. We could all do it.
I've got an underbite so bad.
We're covered up. We're fine.
You have to
I can't-
shave it
Yeah.
off if you do the jaw thing.
Listen, you guys don't want me to shave this beard.
Because it's too terrifying. It's
if
too
I shave
forever.
my
It'll-
beard, I
yeah,
look like a
mean,
10-year-old.
It'll just
Well,
it'll blow you away.
if like
too much.
I doubt
I'm
that
kinda
would
nervous.
fix me because I look like I have
I
Down
grind my
syndrome.
teeth a lot.
I doubt that would fix me. Like
Yeah,
it's some
I'm
kind of
very
cure for
stressed,
broken
very
jaw
high
syndrome.
strung.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is gonna make my jaw define, but
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
if
just
that'll
gonna-
fix me.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that-
doc, the meds don't work.
Yeah, that's just gonna make me look a little bit more retarded with a gummy mouth. I'll be like,
You look like a goddamn gummy bear with an issue.
Grab
gummy bear looks real weird.
hope to breakfast for Bob.
So you're saying you have to have surgery then?
100%.
Okay,
I
that's the
have
only way to
I
fix it.
definitely have
Facial
an overbite.
reconstruction.
Yeah. What levels are there on
surgery.
that? Let's check this
There's
out.
4
A
weight
lot of
levels.
levels.
It's like 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 40 pounds, and 50 pounds of jaw stress.
Oh wow.
I'm on the 40 pound. I started because my jawline's firm. I went straight to 3rd level.
That's rough.
I'm not interested in the first
Okay.
2.
I didn't realize that we were.
I'm not
up here
40
with
interested.
pounds
heavy
of like a
Holy
small
cannoli.
fucking child.
Yeah, because Facebook, they're
Facebook.
it was unfair. It was unfair. I was a little.
He got
insulted.
sucked.
All right. Well,
What did-
let
what
us
did
know.
you
Tell
look
us
up?
about it.
They have all my pictures. They know that my jawline is firm. I was upset about it,
You feel like
but I'm
maybe-
also very insecure. So I was like, okay.
I was gonna say, do you feel like maybe Facebook knows some things about you? Have they been talking to your
I
therapist?
think they do. I don't have a therapist. God help one if I did.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
couldn't imagine the
Yeah.
things I would talk to her about.
Find
should-
out I
you
got
should try it out.
molested
It's
at
good.
3 or some shit. Like, I'm convinced that that's all that fucking therapists are for.
Wait.
Like,
Is unearthing like
Yeah,
traumas.
yeah.
You
They're
do,
like,
you know?
yo, let's bring
Are
back
you-
past
They do other
memories.
things too, like heal those traumas.
Yeah,
and
like, I'll
help
just
you
be-
manage life.
Maybe you're just going to the wrong one.
well, I've never went
As
to one.
per commercials, it takes 1 to 3 different therapists to find the right one.
I guess.
Yep.
BetterHelp.com. You could do it.
Are they our
This isn't a sponsor.
It could be.
They do support
I would
most
love that,
insurances.
dude. I actually BetterHelp really did like change my life.
Dude,
Yeah, I
listen,
didn't say any of
big
those
way.
bad things about therapy 5 seconds ago.
I watch. Listen, most people, it takes like I said, 1 to 3 different people.
I
like
went
therapists.
through 3
Yeah.
before I found the.
So you could find the
person
right
I'm
one
with
that you
now.
connect with and actually like, hey, you're helping me with my issues compared to the last 2 that I
Yeah.
talked to. So it'll take a couple.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
believe
always where I mean, anybody who's done therapy and sticks with therapy will tell you that it's worth it. Like, you know, because it's tailored to you. Whatever your idea of therapy is in your head is probably created based off of somebody else's experience.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? But when you get in there and you're talking to somebody one-on-one, it is whatever you make of it there in the moment. You know what I mean? So it really is a personalized experience.
And here's the thing too: you could be more comfortable talking to that complete stranger than you are to like your brother, your sister, your dad, or
You
your
are
mom, or like
going to be more comfortable.
you're going to
talking
be more
that
comfortable
complete
because
stranger.
it's you're going in blind. You don't know this person personally, so you can undump your trauma on them and then be like, oh, this is what I think would help you with those issues that you're having and like what your past trauma is and whatnot. So it's a lot of help.
My therapist is like one of my favorite people. She's awesome.
The main reason I stay away from it is because like every time that I think about like what a therapist would say about me, I feel like I would just be talking about like my life growing up, and they'd be like, yeah, a lot of that is just neglect. And everything that your family puts you through, I'm sorry about that.
But
And I'm
but
just
here's the
gonna be
thing. But they have the skills to talk you through those situations. They're not going to like shun you and be like, yo, this is what this is about. Like, they'll actually be like, this is your diagnosis. This is what I think would help. They'll be like, oh, more time outside. Or like, I'm finally medicated and I feel a million times better that I am medicated for my ADHD.
Okay.
So like right now in my setting, us sitting here, I can actually sit here, focus, look at this, watch you guys and make sure you're doing okay in your situation and make sure nothing crashes on the computer as well. And we're all on the same page. Everybody is communicating with each other and I can actually focus. If I wasn't medicated, I'd be literally fucking all over the walls.
And
like
and
crazy.
that really that goes back to the point of just like it really just self care. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
whether it's medication or because I'm the opposite where I'm only cognitive therapy. That's all I do. I also have an ADHD diagnosis, but I just don't want medication. So I just talk to people about it. And I try to learn to cope with the way that my brain works instead of, but obviously everybody's different,
That's all crazy because like I
Yeah.
just make all my strangers I see as my therapist. I tell my life story to anybody that will listen to me for a few minutes.
Hey,
like,
just remember.
I don't need a
But
therapist.
listen,
Like,
that's,
the
I
first time I
think,
met
the
you
difference.
guys, I trauma dumped on you.
Yes.
know you-
And I felt more. Listen, here's
did,
the thing.
bro.
I felt more comfortable talking to you two, because Cam was already here. I know Cameron. I've known Cameron since he was fucking 14. And
I
I'm
know he
32.
kicked your ass.
No, he did. He put me in a fucking headlock. Okay, he put me in an armbar headlock and almost took me
I'm
out.
sorry.
That's when
We
his
played the
trauma
choking
started.
game, but in a
I was
different
an
way.
angry kid.
Yeah, he was very angry. But here's the thing: if you think about it, like me and Cameron talked about this the other day, I was the actually voice of reason for Cameron, and he just wanted to act like an asshole at that age.
Yep.
But I was the one in the band that was like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. You're
really
at
was.
my house, and you're doing shit that you shouldn't be doing. Like Cameron getting drunk at 14 and pissing in a bottle in the middle of the night because he didn't want to go to the bathroom. So I said, dude, you can't be doing that. And then everybody's like everybody else is like encouraging him to do it. And I'm like, dude, you can't be doing that, especially if you're at somebody's house and you're in a band with them and like, hey, you're in my place. Don't be doing shit you're not supposed to be doing.
But here's the problem with that story. How old were you?
In my 20s.
Huh?
In my 20s.
He was acting like a 14-year-old as he
No,
should.
here's the thing. When I was a 14-year-old, I wasn't getting hammered and pissing in bottles in my band member's bedroom.
That's
when
what-
I was in
but-
their domain. Like
You should be pissing into bottles at the age of 14, whether you're drunk
they
or
make
not.
the outdoors for that, or just don't be scared.
Yeah,
Cameron
pissing
was
in
a
a
scared
bottle-
14-year-old. I'm not gonna lie.
Pissing in a bottle wasn't
Oh,
a 14-year-old thing.
He
It's
was
not a-
very
that's
scared
not
of
a
the
thing
real
for
world.
14.
Yeah, it
Bottle
is.
pissing?
Dude, I used to piss outside my window until
That's-
somebody got mad at me.
Well, that's not a
Like-
bottle. And you shouldn't be pissing out your window.
Yeah, you
especially,
shouldn't be pissing on your surroundings.
especially when you're in the second story of your house. Don't.
Yeah.
You could piss on
Just a
someone.
little,
Just
a little
piss wherever,
teeny
man.
weeny.
Don't
a
fucking
little,
listen to them.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, we got to get a fucking microscope to see that shit.
That's
I
your
gave
fucking
those
right,
sexual
dude.
predators something to look forward to
Oh my
every day
God.
whenever they drove by my house.
Everybody needs hope.
Gross.
So they're driving by your house to see your.
I guess
on
because
window?
like where I was pissing out the window, it was straight towards the road. Like anybody who was coming down the road, they could see straight into my little teeny weeny. I had a big bush at that point in time.
Oh my God.
It was a good point. It,
He's like, oh my God, that guy's a fucking predator. But you were showing your donger out the window on the front store balcony. You're like, yo, bro, look at my dick. They're like,
Whips out his
magnifying
dick and he's
glass?
like, quit fucking looking, weirdo.
Yeah, I
Stop
was-
They're
staring
like,
at it.
fuck, telescope, boom, donger. Like they had fucking some kind of scoping mechanism. Like, oh, there's his dick.
Yeah,
Looking
and-
right at it.
honestly, the only reason I stopped was somebody gave me half decent advice, and they were like, you know that you can get like sexual like deviance for that for putting
Yeah.
your little penis out.
They're
on
like,
the
wow,
road.
look at that bush. You need to trim that. And
Yeah.
he was like, yo, you get in trouble for
But I
showing
mean,
your
you also
donger.
got all your confidence from turning on all those pedophiles. Like it's all your
That's
confidence
true.
came from that, which
That's
is
true.
impressive. You
Very
know,
nice.
speaking of pedophiles and confidence, my cousin, there was a guy who owned a bowling alley, and like he went to jail for like being a pedophile. And they always had these like sleepovers at like the bowling alley for like little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin's kind of like hurt that he was never molested, like he wasn't chose. And I was told because he had big ears as a kid. Like a lot of kids were molested. He wasn't picked.
I mean, that's
Because he could hear things better.
That's because the ears were creepy.
he could
bro.
hear more of the information.
He could hear him coming.
Yeah, he could hear all the adults.
I don't-
Tiptoe around me, bitch.
I don't think that he could.
Ain't sneaking into my fucking room. I heard you down the hall,
And
motherfucker.
I'll tell you what. Sometimes he talks about it and he looks sad. That I'm like, listen, you weren't
Oh my
molested.
God.
You weren't good enough to be molested. Is what
He
I
had
tell him.
fucking
We're gonna
sonar.
circle back
Jesus
to
Christ.
therapy on that one.
For me or for him?
For him. I feel like he's got some shit to unpack. You know what I mean?
Imagine if he was actually molested.
I mean, oh boy,
I'm a confirmed Catholic. They're not all molesters. I haven't molested anyone.
dude, I was an altar boy, and I'm surprised that I never got molested. There was so.
Oh, fuck.
So whenever I was an altar boy, I would carry around that little cross, and then like we would go into the back behind the stage. And I guess that there was like the priest room, and I just wouldn't go into there because like there was something like in my head like if you go into that room, some crazy shit's about to happen to you. So I just stayed away from it. I was a smart little kid.
So I have some questions now
Yeah.
because we got to unpack a couple things. So like initially, like you're just sticking your dick out the window. People
this
driving
was
by.
way later on in life. I'm talking.
So the dick out the window was before or after?
What fucking age were you at the wiener out the
Yeah,
fucking
because,
window?
like, see,
I was like 13, 14.
Because I kind of feel like maybe
so you were an altar boy at like
maybe the-
15, 16?
no, I was an altar boy at like 7, 8.
Okay, you got to backtrack.
So the priest knew. So the priest knew
Back
you
to
like
the
to put your
future.
dick out the window. So that you were a
Probably.
high draft pick.
Second rounder.
You were seasoned
They're
meat.
like, this guy sticking his dick out the window. We
I
got to get
mean-
him in there.
Yeah.
He'll pull his dick
the
out.
priest looked at him and was like, man, he's going to be a future wiener shower.
Yeah, so
window.
so you think that's why he didn't want it? He was like, he's gonna grow up to be a deviant.
He's like,
himself.
wow, he's
No,
going
I
to be
think-
a slut. Like, we can't
No.
touch him.
I
We,
think
we
they
can
wanted
get him
you.
later. That's what it was. They were like, we don't need him right
Yeah.
now. We can get him later. Like,
that makes sense.
Actually,
That
maybe they
makes
think you can be one of the priests. You have a higher level. They're like, this guy's he's management material.
He's
not.
advanced.
Yeah, he's management material.
It's like
We
you're
need to
high
get
up
this
on
man
the
in the
frickin'
church
karate
right
scale.
now.
It feels real bad mouthing the Catholic. Again, I am a confirmed Catholic, and I go on Easter and Christmas, and they're not all pedophiles.
so do you feel guilty right now is what you're telling me?
I don't think they're all pedophiles. I think
You seem pretty guilty for this conversation.
So what? There was.
Bob wouldn't be happy. Me bad mouthing the Catholic Church. Let's just say that he wouldn't be happy.
Hey,
We're here
I was
to
in,
upset
I was in the
Bob.
Boy Scouts and I wasn't molested, so that's a plus.
You were in the Boy Scouts?
I was in the Boy Scouts. Yeah, I was in the Cub Scouts for like a year.
I did that.
How
Too.
was
Then I
that?
got out because I felt like a fucking nerd.
Yeah, I did that.
But
too.
I learned all my fire starting skills from that.
No, I did. I did But I
But I
Cub
wasn't
Scouts.
molested. Most people in the Boy
Scouts
Scouts
honor.
I don't think it's the
molested.
most.
Like,
with
sorry,
that
I won't
either.
tell
I-
troop
I
It's
did,
leader.
3 fingers, right?
Yeah. I fucking I don't remember.
Right.
I did.
Two
I
in
did
the
Cub
pink?
Scouts
What?
in the inner city. I was in Jersey City whenever I
think
did
they're
it.
all in the brown.
So like whatever kind of like thing that you are supposed to do with Cub Scouts and like go out in the woods, they just had us in a room in a Catholic church and they were just like, so this is what you got to do if a bear attacks you. There was no point of doing that Cub Scout thing
Well,
whatsoever.
here's what's crazy. When I did it, they did it at the school. They like had all the Cub Scouts there at the school, and then once in a blue moon, they'd have you go out to Camp Agawam, like the Boy Scout camp. It's not a Boy Scout camp anymore. Like they own it, and there's like apartments there and shit. But like we went out there, and there was like different buildings and shit, and they made us do like a scavenger hunt in the woods and some other wild shit. And I was like, wow, this is kind of fucking dumb. I'm not about this right now. But like the Boy Scouts of America is known for molesting boys and stuff, so that's like a hot topic.
So what do you think is
Yeah.
worse, the Boy Scouts of America or the Catholic Church?
They're kind of high up there together.
They're up there together. If
Yeah,
we were
I
to
think.
label one or two, which one would you label?
I'm going
One.
to be honest with you. I feel like the public school system is also pretty
right.
heavy
Yeah.
breeding
We'll add
ground
them
for
into this mix.
child predators.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's
I have
like
stories,
there's been
but I
a
will
lot
not
of
tell.
I don't know why that doesn't get included in the conversation just as much
Yeah.
though. Well, because it's like government funded. We just kind of like tend to ignore it. But like,
was
there's
gonna say
way
too.
more kids getting fingered
Yeah.
in fucking class
Fucking,
than there is.
there actually
in the
was
church.
a teacher from Newcastle that just got let go because he got caught diddling students.
Yeah, there you fucking go.
Well, there's
Yeah.
also the extra layer of problems onto that is that also half of them are ignored because it's a woman doing it to a boy.
Well,
and less people are offended by that than if a male was doing that to a girl.
yeah, I think the tide is kind of changing on that
Yeah.
as we move along as,
Yeah,
as
I mean-
society, hopefully, but
Getting rid of the old "you can't rape the willing" adage. Oh, he wanted it.
Yeah.
he was good, bro. I mean, he had an erection. What was I supposed to do?
well, he was a child and
and he had an
that's-
erection.
yeah.
I mean, I took it as an invitation. I'm sorry. It's not my fault.
Oh, man.
Believe all women.
Spoken like a true Catholic.
Fuck, you're-
Sorry.
I didn't sign up for this.
I mean, he was talking about women, Cam, not dudes, but it's fine.
Fair.
Fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean those Catholic are into those little boys. They're on
It's
a
a
whole
totally
different.
different-
Yeah,
yeah.
they're on a whole different
The
level.
public school system is really,
They're a little bit more straight.
yeah, they're not really direct
Ironically, the
competition. You know what I mean?
Never mind. I'm gonna stop bashing on the Catholic Church. I feel like we've been going a little
Yeah,
bit
now
too
I
far.
feel bad.
So
There's good people on every side. As Donald Trump said, good people on every side of the Catholic Church. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I believe that genuinely.
Yeah, there's
On a
probably
more
some
serious
decent
note.
people. That, and I also think that I'm gonna go right back into the Catholic Church. I also think that the Pope is a G. Like, I don't care who you are. The fact that like they just give this dude medallions and a funny hat, and he's just able to be the pimp for the world. is the
He rides
best
around in
thing
a
ever.
vehicle covered in a shield.
Yeah,
Pope Mobile, yeah.
Pope Mobile, yeah.
but
I do like that they said like they're like, oh, our money's down. I guess homosexuality's cool now. Like that book that was written a million years ago that was law. Well, it's cool now.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
We need our coffers are a little low.
The dollar's down, so you guys can go ahead and love whoever.
Sleep with whoever you want.
Yeah, we no longer care what gets you off.
Just stuff the collection plate.
10%, don't forget.
Yeah,
dude,
15 if you're gay.
You got an extra tax on it.
So fucking going off topic a little bit about the church though. Fucking have anybody
I was like, please go off topic.
Have you guys fucking seen the new Shogun, the new show coming out, dude? It's fucking phenomenal. Yeah, it's like
I've seen ads for it, but I haven't actually watched it.
yeah, dude, it's like the samurai series and shit like that. So it's all about like a white dude in the middle of Japan and just like his story. And he's not a Catholic, but he's angry with the Catholics. So I mean, it's a little bit of the story. And
Has nothing to do with this. Talk about a stretch.
I mean, I thought he was going to go
Off
off
the
further and
deep
say he
end.
was angry because he was molested. That was what I thought we were going
Me?
with. I thought the white guy, and the Shogun, you were going to say he's angry with the Catholics because he was molested.
Ooh,
I
that
thought
might
that's
be
where
deep.
you're going.
We're only 3 episodes in. It might be deeper later on. You never know.
It's still on the table.
Yeah, it's still coming out.
Still on the table.
But that show, it's fucking phenomenal. Number 1. Number 2, fucking damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. But that's like
It's such a good show. Forgot about it.
no, it's the time period that like kind of got me hella into history. That
Oh, okay.
original Japanese fucking shit.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know, just fucking check it out. I don't know. I thought that you guys would fucking have more on this.
Yeah, just fucking do the thing. Go look at it.
No.
Use your eyes to watch things.
Yeah, not much, dude.
Yeah, not watching enough shows.
I'll ask BK if he's watched it. I mean, he'll tell me he has no matter what. Maybe he'll have an opinion though.
Who's
Like,
BK?
My dad, Bob.
Yeah.
I call him
Okay,
BK.
yeah.
Like
I'll
you
ask
said, he didn't
Bob,
watch
yeah.
the State of
Bob's
the Union, but he had
definitely seen it.
answers.
You think Bob's seen it? He might not have that streaming platform. I don't know if he has any streaming platform. He's cable.
Yeah, we need to know what his go-tos are.
He likes House, MD.
House is good.
He
likes
House
House.
is real good.
Yeah.
House always makes me upset. Just
Why?
the fact that there could be a doctor out there in the world that's just high on Vicodin all the time.
There definitely is.
Just
that's not,
operating on people?
That's
Just a
happening.
doctor
I'm
out there
pretty
that's
sure
got a
House
like
is like
problem.
what inspired me to think that painkillers were just like acceptable. I was just like, yeah, you can just take them whenever, dude, and you can still solve medical mysteries.
But they
That's
have to
true.
walk with a
You know what I
hobble.
mean?
Gotta
Yeah,
have
why
that
does
hobble.
what happened to his leg in that show?
Too much Vike. Killed his nerves.
I never watched it. I
Had
don't
a
know.
pulmonary embolism, I think, or something.
Pulmonary what?
Embolism?
Okay.
I think.
It's a heart thing.
Is that correct?
All right.
Or some kind of like clot in his leg.
Blood clot.
Yeah, something that killed the nerves and
Yeah, and now he has to take
it's all
painkillers.
fucked up, man. It's none of your business,
I'm
Mike.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
God.
Dr. House. I didn't mean
Yeah,
to fucking
he's
step on your
sensitive
foot
about
like
it
that.
He's
very
still-
clearly.
He can't feel his foot.
and
So
he's
even
still
if I
so-
stepped on it, he wouldn't
got
know.
neuropathy.
Brian can't feel his foot either.
Yeah, I can't
And
feel
he's still-
either
and
of
he
my
still
damn
has
legs.
feelings.
And I walk
He
and
still
drive
has-
a manual transmission vehicle
He
every
drives-
fucking day.
He drives too fast. That's why I
Yeah.
got fired from the pizza place.
yeah,
but
you
he
get fired
still
from-
has feelings.
Or, you know, the pizza places.
Still feels things.
Yes. And so does Dr. House, I assume.
I feel nothing but pain.
And sadness.
Yep.
Because you drink ginger ale
Okay.
for fun.
The limp in
dude,
Dr.
that's such
House's
a
legs.
bad-
Are you ready? It's from a result of an infraction in his right leg, which caused a misdiagnosis and subsequent muscle death.
Ah,
So he has like neuropathy in his muscles. So he has to walk with a hobble.
So we were all wrong.
Yeah,
real
yeah,
bad.
we're all wrong. And I'm
I said
glad
too many
that
Vikes.
this
I
is
thought
what
that
you
was a good
researched.
answer.
what? That's a
up?
good answer.
I'm glad that this is what you researched and none of the pedophilia shit that we were
No,
talking
no.
about
We
earlier.
were wondering. We were like, why does he walk with a
I mean,
hobble?
I'm still coming after the public school system for
Yeah.
pedophilia.
You're
Dylan
going to get them?
kids.
You're going to take them down?
Twice. With one fist tied behind his
I
back.
think everybody should fucking homeschool their kids.
I mean, dude,
I
with
mean,
the,
some homeschool kids are crazy, though, dude. Like, you know, I mean, it's not all.
I'm not saying they're all good. I'm saying it's better than getting touched by a stranger.
well, that's the thing. That's the kind of the shitty thing with our current, like, fucking, our current school situation is that, like, half of it is way too overdone and they're not actually teaching kids anything worthwhile. Like, they're not actually teaching them, like, life
No,
skills.
they're preparing
Nope.
them to go work 9 to 5s.
I didn't
They're-
learn
they're
shit
making
except
them
for the
pro-
price of like street drugs in school.
I mean, if you need me to get on a
That's
soapbox
Newcastle.
about the school system, because I have, like, kids in it, I'll get on that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. What's
I
your
mean,
thoughts, man?
Like, number one, like,
Yeah.
I think they're embarrassing. Like, they should be teaching these kids how to budget and how to, like, balance a checkbook and, like, how to get your credit score up quick. And they're teaching them some algebra and some bullshit like that. It's crap. Like Bob, Bob, namesake of the show, taught me how to balance a checkbook immediately and save money and taught me how to get my credit score real high. Like, those are real things that help me in life.
Yeah.
Fucking calculus too didn't do shit for me. Like, it's garbage.
Right.
And they're not teaching me any kind of that bullshit like that. And then, like, my youngest, like, he did bad after COVID, and then he learned, like, so nowadays in school, like, if you fail a class, you spend like $100. You can take a credit recovery class, and then you just pass the class in the summer. So, like,
Pay to play.
pay to play, and, like, he's spending his own money, and, like, he's like, I'm just gonna fail math. I don't give a shit. And I'm like, well, you figure out how the system works. I can't get too mad at you. You just spend your own money.
Yeah.
But, like, the system's broken. They just want to run them through, and they're not teaching them anything good. It is a bunch of trash. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they should teach a budget class. Like, and I think it's on purpose. Like, the American system wants you to be just poor enough. And
Yeah, it's-
it drives me crazy.
Absolute. I don't think that any part of it hasn't been like thought through. You know what I mean? Because if I'm smart enough to see through it, somebody else was smart enough to think it through.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That those kinds of things don't happen on accident, and our system didn't get to where it's at right now by happenstance. It got there through a lot of professional neglect and a lot of people at the tippy top moving things the way that they wanted them to be. You know what I mean? And that's why I think like there is a big push for homeschooling. And I don't think homeschooling's like the the best solution necessarily. There's things in education reform that could take place that would make bigger waves than just a homeschooling movement can. But I think we're a long ways off from that, unfortunately.
All right, I'm about to do a fucking history dump on you, but the current school system that we have is actually based off of correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. You could look this up if you need, but basically, they adopted it from the Prussian system, and so the Prussian system was a very militaristic fucking country. And it fell to Germany, and we know how Germany went with the fucking almost took over the world two times. Yeah. And they were producing phenomenal soldiers. They were producing phenomenal factory workers. So a lot of Western countries kind of followed the Prussian school system, where it's more based on you're just saying and accepting. I don't know, what is it called, like fucking when you just willingly follow somebody's orders. What is that called? What's another word for that?
I don't know. Like,
yeah. Obedience. Yeah. It's more based about obedience than it is about the knowledge, which is why we have a separation in our own system of college. Because you wouldn't need college if our system was perfect.
Well, and that's probably a lot of the reason the way that we test and we evaluate the way that we test and evaluate. Because if you look at the way that we do that in this country, it's based on regurgitation of information. Mm-hmm. It has very little to do with actually digesting and thinking critically based on the knowledge that you've obtained. It has a lot more to do with, can you remember what I told you on Tuesday now that it's Friday? Because when you go work your 9 to 5 for the next 45 years, you're going to need to remember things. You're not going to need to think about things, really. You're not really going to need to figure things out unless unless you go to our special schools after this school. That's really expensive.
And this is another thing with another history problem that I have, which is they're teaching these kids like, hey, this is the date that this happened, this is that, this is blah blah. But they never actually teach them the reason why things happen
or give it context.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like a lot of whenever I was in school, why did it take me to get outside of school to finally understand that Napoleonic Wars led up into World War I. World War I led up into that should have been something that was taught throughout school, and they barely teach you anything. They
try to isolate
focus
all
on
the insulin.
very specific names. They're like
that's all the school books are, because they take out all the actual factual stuff and feed you with the same information. Because I'm looking here. It's based off the Prussian model to created in the 1800s to produce mindless, obedient soldiers.
Yep.
That's why the American school system is the way it is. So they're like, oh yeah, Columbus discovered America. Who the fuck was here first? The Native Americans, like the Pilgrims and the Indians. They're like, oh, thanks for getting us your land, Thanks for the crops and stuff.
And then we were supposed to just, America was supposed to just be a colony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were supposed to just be another just little remote reach of an empire. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's never really supposed to be this way.
But I mean, some of the stuff, like working in a factory isn't bad, but you should teach people how, to save their money. Like, we're forcing people, going to the TikTok shop and buying these things. They don't have money to do it. They're trained this way. Like, you should be trained to, you budget your money. Like, it should be, and that should be taught to you in school. Like, if you want to work 9 to 5, those are fine jobs. I don't care. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But, you shouldn't be broke. You should
right, yeah.
That's the thing. And they don't teach you how not to be broke. It's embarrassing. No one knows him. People leave school, and then they're like, well, go to college and get a liberal arts degree. Hey, I have a public relations degree. Look at me. And you owe a bunch of money on it. You didn't. If you're going to be an engineer, cool, whatever. You need to do that.
Yeah,
but you don't need to go to college to go to college. You can come ahead with a bunch of money. And the school system, I don't know how bad it is now. Because it's been centuries since I've been in school. But you teach you to you have to go to college.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't have to go to college. You get to start $100,000 ahead if you don't go to college. It's
in
crazy.
some cases, anyway. You know what I mean? There are some people, obviously, that that's not even,
Yeah, but or
ever even an option.
you don't. But you could do something else. You could get a job first. You don't have to. You don't have to go to Ohio State. You can go to a junior college. But no one's teaching anyone that. They're not teaching them how to budget. Not teaching have 2 bank accounts, one for your bills and one to save money. How fucking difficult is that? One bank account isn't real. That's for your savings and one bank account's for bills.
Yeah.
You could teach a 3rd grader that. But they're like, no, you got to learn how to weave this fucking basket or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Or,
color inside the lines.
Yeah. It's
Also,
crazy.
if you were to try to make like legitimate, like good citizens of your country, I imagine that you would also like a thing that everybody has to go through is a fucking law thing. Think about it. You were never taught your laws on where you grew up, or the country, the state, the
Your
local
town.
like you
Yeah.
don't know any of those laws. But like how are you supposed to find that out? And like the fact that you have to go to a college and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just to figure out that, and then you're good enough at that point to be able to just get people off
Yeah.
on other things. I mean, that's pretty much what a lawyer is.
Yeah. Well, and that is kind of how the system is set up, right? Is that like, okay, we're gonna shuffle everybody through the same basic funnel of the public education system, and we're not gonna teach everybody how to be successful. We're not gonna teach everybody how to save money and budget and think critically, and we're not gonna teach everybody how to flow through the world. But the people who can afford the $200,000 education or the even $50,000 education, we'll teach them a little bit more. And if they can afford the really expensive school, well then we'll teach them how to do everything. We'll teach them how to duck the laws. We'll teach them how to evade their taxes. We'll teach them how to really play the game, but only if they can afford to go to the school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is set up that way on purpose. There's a reason. Yeah, you could teach it to a third grader, but they don't want everybody knowing how to play the game.
I mean, they didn't teach me that game at Youngstown State in Westminster, and I paid a bunch of money. Well, BK paid a bunch of money.
Well, yeah, but that's not Harvard and MIT.
No,
you know what I mean?
But like, still, still like Westminster's pretty well known for that. If you want to be a doctor, you want to be like House. You start at Westminster for your science and
Yeah.
be a doctor at school. But like, I think it's like even in the higher schools, they're not teaching how to evade your taxes. They're just different things to have a degree and stuff. Like, oh, I went to Stanford. It's my degree.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're any smarter with like basic human stuff than they are from the public school.
Well, then I suppose that just furthers the point. That's even worse. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how much you pay then. You're still never learning the shit that really matters.
If they
you know
were
what I mean?
smarter, we wouldn't have 7% of the country not wanting to vote for president.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I think that they actually muddied up the waters with more of these colleges because now they have. I mean, you might have a disagreement with this, and I actually want to hear your opinion on it. I feel like they've muddied up the waters with these arts and crazy like arts and social schools where you're really not learning anything that you couldn't have learned by yourself, and you're paying all this stupid amount of money for it for a useless degree. And I feel like that's also muddying up the waters because I feel like a lot of people in our generation, your generation for sure, John, definitely like got told, hey, your way out is to go through college. They didn't give them any sort of information other than that. So a bunch of people were just like, I like art, so they went to college for art. And I feel like a lot of that really fucked up a lot of this generation. That's why you're getting what we're getting now, where a lot of people don't understand the way that the country works, history, shit like that.
but the cool thing about like if you're going to school for art and something like that, and like you don't have to go to school for it, obviously, but like to being around creative people is like it's a great thing. Like what you're doing is fantastic. Like I mean, you're creating an environment for creative people, and they don't have to spend $60,000-$100,000. You're doing it,
Right.
I mean, basically like for free.
Yeah.
Like you're bringing these people together. Like you don't need that for that. What you're saying.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of something that Mike kind of touched on, like people, you don't need to go to school. People have lost kind of the art of self-teaching. You know what I mean? But for it's still very commonplace in music. Like a lot of musicians are self-taught, and that's something that if we can give people resources to teach themselves, and we can surround them with a community that can help teach them too, then we're replacing the whole need for the schools that you're talking about, because I really don't think that there's a place for them. Don't think there's a need for an arts school. Just go make a bunch of art until you're really good at it. You know what I mean? Experience is the best teacher, and that's the wild folk. That's we fill in the gaps. You know what I mean? If you show up with the motivation and the time commitment to your craft, then we'll give you the resources and the opportunities and the community to go along with that. You know what I mean?
Which is awesome. You're getting the real world experience. Like you're not digging for it. Like it's right there. You're getting it. Like you could give 4-year degree and say, "Oh, I have a degree from whatever in art," and your paintings suck. Like they suck. It's whatever. You feel me? Degree doesn't mean anything in art. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. You might have gotten an A in it, but I don't know. I mean, because it's hard to dismiss that entirely, because that is a great platform for some people, because some people are really only going to learn and grow in that kind of structured environment. But I just don't. There needs to be a third option. You know what I mean? Because right now there really is no third option.
But I think if you're learning and growing in that environment, and I guess we can kind of talk to you about the wild folk right now because we're talking about it anyway.
Yeah,
It's like if you are in that environment, it's not Stanford, it's not whatever. It's you're around creative people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we get together, we text, and we have all kinds of ideas, and we're always super supportive of ideas, and it makes us better.
Yeah.
It's not about the school. It's about getting around other people that are creative. I think
Right.
that's where it all blossoms from. It's not from a degree. It's from people helping you be creative.
The
Yeah,
community.
I never thought about it like that until you mentioned it. That literally what we were talking about with the whole school shit is kind of like whenever it comes to like our school, whenever it comes to like doing stuff like audio or video, you want to be around a community, which is what you're trying to do with Wild Folk,
Yeah.
and just like build up, because you're gonna learn more from doing this kind of stuff and like working with it than just somebody saying, "Hey, you go and do this." Like. When would Brian have, done a podcast like this without it being here? I mean, you might have eventually.
Did you guys notice I was gone?
Yeah, I
Literally,
noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I had to take a little pee in the
I looked
boys'
down.
room.
Nate was sitting over there.
Also,
I was like,
uh,
So you guys
about-
were skedaddling.
About 10 minutes, we're gonna take a break,
Okay, that's good.
so we can change out batteries.
Oh, well,
okay.
we're sorry,
It just
folks.
died.
We'll be right back.
The clap.
Oh,
what
I
the
ruined
fuck?
the mic.
You hit the mic. What are you
All right,
doing?
we're
Come
back,
on.
folks.
Come on,
with
Dale. I didn't
sorry,
have
there
the
was
room.
there was a battery problem there. I know it felt like a second for you guys, but it's been like a couple minutes for us. But yeah,
When he says a couple minutes, it means like 15, 20 minutes.
uh,
We all
so-
had pee breaks. We all did our thing.
all right, once Brian.
That's fucked.
But yeah, I think where we left off was we were talking about how what you were doing with the Wild Folk, how it's actually better than a lot of like what these universities and schools are trying to do, where you're actually learning hands-on. Instead of just going to a school and them telling you and teaching you. I brought up the example before we left that, maybe Brian wouldn't have done a podcast and he would have stayed music, but now that he's doing here, he's like branching out and kind of going into a lot of stuff. And that's kind of where we were at before we cut.
yeah, and I don't know if I would necessarily say that what we're trying to set up is better, but it's definitely, it's another way to solve the problem, and it's another avenue for people to explore their interests creatively. But yeah, I mean that, the Brian example is perfect, because that's what the Wild Folk is here to do, is to give people opportunities they wouldn't have had otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're trying to create this vehicle to kind of take people's projects further than they would have gone otherwise, and just diversify the opportunities and resources that people have. If they have more if people in general have more at their disposal, then they will think bigger and they will take their projects further.
When do you think you first identified your need for this in like the marketplace or just the area?
I think it was late last year. I really started to notice that there's a lot of people like posting on social media about like doing different types of crafting and showing their artwork off, and that kind of put the idea in my head, like, man, if there's this many people out there that are doing these like really cool creative things, and they're all trying to do something with it. Most people are trying to sell their artwork or their music, or they're trying to play paying shows. Why is it so far spread? You know what I mean? Like, why isn't anybody coming under one roof? And the more I looked around, the more I found that like there's a ton of talent, there's a ton of people who are doing things, but everybody is looking in a different direction, and everybody is so busy doing their own thing that they don't really have time to build a community around them. They don't really have time to network the way that they would probably like to, or be involved with other creators as much as they would like to be. So that's where the wild folk can come into play. We're a built-in audience for people. We're a built-in, resource index for people. If you're a band that needs a music video done, instead of having to sift through a bunch of recommendations from people on a Facebook post, or having to do a couple of Google searches and make a couple of phone calls and have a couple different conversations. If you're a Wild Folk member, you can just use our in-house Rolodex of videographers and photographers for your press stuff. If you're, a writer and you're, trying to get your name out there, but you're not quite sure if you're ready to commit to doing a standalone book. Great. We're running these collaborative projects, on a cycle throughout the year. We're trying to do them every quarter. So, hey, the Wild Folk in another 2 months is probably going to have something I can submit my work to get my name out there and kind of dip my toes in the water. We want to try to continue to expand that into other avenues as we grow. But the studio is really going to be the big jumping off point. The studio is the engine in the vehicle right now, so to speak. Where we're really going to be looking for musicians and, maybe some other podcasters and comedians to come in and book with us and record content and let us help them elevate their projects.
So is that kind of like all of the projects that you're currently working on? Is that, or is there anything more?
Yeah, that's most of the irons that we have in the fire right now. We're really, really trying to focus in on the publishing side and the recording side right now, because those are the mediums that I'm most familiar with. Unfortunately, I'm just absolutely useless when it comes to putting like pen to paper or paint to paper. I do it, but I do it as something to relax myself in, the comfort of my own home. It's nothing that I'm too good at. So we are going to be looking for people who kind of focus on 2D art in the near future to help lead the charge for some projects for that too. Right now we do have our Wild Folk coloring book that's going to be coming out in April. You water your own backyard. Mm-hmm. We're going to start here, and I'm going to, work here until I feel like our local communities have the support that they need. And then, sure, we'll start expanding. But I think the rural areas are really where my heart's at. I've lived in a few big cities in my life, and it's never, I don't know, that's not my thing. I've always enjoyed living out in the country, and I've always resented the fact that because I like to live out in the country, have limited resources. You know what I mean? Like as a kid, man, I remember like when I was a kid, living in LA was like the thing. You know what I mean? Like you had to move to California to go do something with yourself. And then by the time I was an adult, it was like you have to move to Nashville or Austin if you want to do something with yourself.
Okay, so I think I kind of understand where you're trying to like bridge the gap. So it's not like you can find talent anywhere, instead of it being like you're forced to move to one of these larger cities and you're trying to help out local areas and stuff like that.
Yeah, because why? Why do I have to move to Austin to get noticed when it's 2024 and I have cameras and microphones and the internet? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, obviously there's something to be said about going and seeing somebody in person and being a part of an in-person community, but that's why we're building it. You know what I mean? That's what the Wild Folk Community Center is for. That's your hometown, Austin. That's your hometown venue. That's what we're trying to grow into, is a central hub in small towns where people can feel like they have the exposure of a big city,
And that's better because, like, if you have to go to Austin, you have to go to LA or whatever, like, it's the same thing. Like, you're letting people be original and creative. Like, everyone goes to Austin, like, oh, got to go to Austin for comedy. That's BS. Yeah. And then you go to Austin and every comedian's the same. So it's all cookie cutter. Like, you're giving people an opportunity to be original and not in the same cookie cutter thing, because you have to follow the same comedy clubs in Austin, same thing, same routine.
Yeah, and that's where this is another thing, like, with, I think, being a creative as a whole, everybody runs into this in their mediums, is that the idea of like what it takes to make it and what it takes to like maybe be able to do your art for a living always comes from this competitive cycle. And something that a lot of artists miss out on is the opportunity to work and be a part of a team. And that's something that I really, really want to try to cultivate within the Wild Folk, is a sense of a team dynamic where there is no and there should be no competition between artists and creatives, because nobody's work is going to be the same as anybody else's. None of us are playing the same game. We are all just doing our thing. So why can we not all just help each other do our thing a little bit better? And that's been said a million times, a million ways. But with the Wild Folk, I want to put our money where our mouth is, and I want to create that culture of, if you're in the Wild Folk, you are on our team. You are our people. You will have access to whatever we have access to, and we will do what we need to do collectively to help elevate your project, because it represents us as a whole.
And not even that, like, I think it's awesome. Like, I've been talking to you guys more since we've been doing this, and, like, just to have the creativity back and forth is nice. And, like, if anybody has anything they want to talk to me about, like, we're all there for each other. It's just so cool. We're growing together, which is a community, which is cool.
Yeah.
With the mic. So.
Absolutely. I mean, iron sharpens iron, right? Yeah. Like, and that's just an added benefit of being able to create that team environment, is that, yeah, we'll all continue to push each other. We'll all continue to exchange ideas with each other and expand each other's horizons creatively. You know, I mean, already just in the last few weeks, I've learned a lot just working with you guys. So, and that's going to continue in everywhere that the Wild Folk reaches.
And it's been super fun. Like, I love it. I love the whole experience. Like, I mean, I can't say enough about it. Like, it's been awesome. I'm sure Mike feels the same way.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
It's
sure
a
the
good
other people that work with you probably feel the same way. It's awesome. It's just a big community, and what you're growing. Like, you can feel what you're growing. It's tangible.
Yeah. It's tell you what, man, it's been a pretty moving experience so far, and I'm really ready to dig in and do the work to get this to where I feel like it deserves to be, you know. And I'm really excited to see where we can take it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, getting the community together, and it'll also be really cool, because I imagine that as it keeps on building up, you'll see more. Like, you'll start working with other people in different groups. So, like, if you need, let's say you need a headshot. Like, if I ever need a headshot in the future, there's going to be photographers that are already in the same system. So instead of going to some random person, you're going up to somebody who you've already worked with, you've already done projects with, and it just ends up becoming much more like the dynamic of, I guess, working with somebody that you already know, as well as supporting somebody who you've already know what they've been through. Even if they're not the best, you know that they're learning it, and you're willing to give them that work so that they do improve.
Yeah, so that they can get better, because they're a part of your community. You know what I mean? Like, if you help them get better, maybe in the future, you know, that person, that photographer that you gave an opportunity to, brings 10 people to your next show. You know what I mean? I mean, it's all one hand washing the other, you know, and we can't afford to spend any more time acting like we're disconnected. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think that's the problem with the world, is that everybody's shooting for themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's honestly a major problem with, like, that's why you're seeing a lot of people go back into religion. More people are going towards religion now and stuff like that. It's because in the modern society, even though we have all these digital things, we're not connected as a group.
No.
And I think that's what you're putting for, at least for artists, is it's a group for us to all meet up and go over projects, see what's good with each other, working together. And that is something that I feel is missing in a majority of the United States.
Yeah, I would agree with you completely. And that's our slogan, is community for creatives and art for all. You know what I mean? Like, we're here to support each other as creatives so that we can make the best art that we can for the rest of the world. And to the end goal of, you know, art reflects culture and culture reflects art. So what we're creating is our own reality, you know, and the better we can make that for each other, the better it is for ourselves, you know. we can't afford to spend any more time feeling disconnected.
And it has such a like long-standing this butterfly effect out. But let's say you give someone a chance to say something they're thinking about, and they feel accepted. They're nicer in public. They're nicer at the gas station. Like you're building something like a ripple effect. And it's just even if like let's say if you don't get famous, but you feel seen.
Yep.
And then you're happier in your day to day, and then you're making somebody else happier. And there's just too much people arguing at the gas. We need to stop that. And like feeling seen is, people are too insecure.
Yeah.
You're giving people a chance to not be insecure. People are accepting them here, and it's going to have long-standing effects, like in the community, not just art-wise, but if people feel seen and not insecure, people won't be as angry. It's an angry society, and you're doing your part, which I mean, you might not even think about this, to prevent that from getting worse. Maybe even bring it back a little bit.
That's I mean, again, just another benefit to kind of like giving people that third place, that third outlet, like you said. When we're some of the bravest human beings I've ever spoken to are the people who participated in the original Writing Like Wild book, like yourself, who were just so willing to like just be like, yeah, these are my thoughts and emotions, and you want to put them out there for the world? Yeah, go ahead, whatever. That's, hey man, that takes some guts, but it was well received. They also got the glory of getting to see that book break through number 10 and then number 5 on Amazon, and feel that sense of pride of being a part of something that was bigger than just their journal, and man, I want to try to bring that to as many people as possible, because that's something that everybody genuinely deserves.
And I love it, man. Like I talk to people all the time. Like I'm super outgoing, and like so many people like they don't think that their voice is important, and it's so weird.
So lame, man.
But it's so weird to hear. And people are scared to do things. They think like people are going to discount them. If someone discounts your shit, screw them, whatever. But like you still have a voice, and it's awesome that you're giving people a chance, and people that might not feel that they have a voice. You're saying like you're nervous about it. I mean, I threw mine out, whatever. I don't care. People, they like whatever. But like some people aren't that way, and the people that aren't that way have the best content, and you're never going to see it because they're hiding in a corner.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it goes to like how much you guys work together and how much of a community that you guys brought together, where you guys got up to what? It was number 5, number 6
we hit
on
4.
Amazon?
I think we topped out at number 4
and,
in American poetry.
Yeah, and I mean, for a first-time producer, what were you the author, producer? What was it?
I guess producer or editor.
Yeah, for the first time and the community coming together and doing that, for it to go up that high, I mean, that says enough in itself. Like, I didn't think that would have ever happened, to be honest with you.
It was well beyond my expectations, and that was when I really realized that, like, we were doing something that mattered, because I was like, it kind of scared me for a second. I was like, oh man, that wasn't supposed to happen. Like, we're not supposed to be like, it was every time I logged into Facebook, there was like Writing Like Wild, for like 3 days. I was like, man, like people are showing up. And that was when I knew I wasn't getting out of this. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, well now I gotta put the skinny pedal down and see how far I can take this.
Guess I gotta ride this rocket to the sun, see how far this goes. Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, it's the most worthy thing I've ever spent my time on. You know what I mean? Like,
and I think have you mentioned that? Are you doing more of those poetry books as well?
Yeah, we're gonna announce another one later this month.
Okay.
And I think we're gonna narrow the scope a little bit and have this one themed. Just don't know what yet.
Figuring it out on the run. I mean,
Figure it out. We got a list of ideas. It's just a matter of picking something, and picking something that people will like want to be into. That's always the hardest thing, because you can toss it out there, but it's really hard to find something that's like casts a wide enough net to get the participants you want.
But you got to be getting more people interested now. After the first book was good, like people are interested now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely have a certain amount of attention. Like when we asked for 2D artists for the coloring book, I mean, we got probably 10 people off the first post, and I only posted about it like 3 times. I'm trying really hard to keep the entry stuff minimal for right now, and just give the people who respond the fastest the slots first for participation.
We got to get like a painter because I have some painting ideas. I need someone to oil paint for me. I have some nonsense.
Perfect. Yeah.
I need one. If anyone's out there.
I really want to find if anybody is out there listening to this and you want to become involved with the wild folk and you work in a 2D medium, feel free to hit me up because I'm definitely looking for some help right now for some people that have time to get involved. So I want to really start doing some stuff to help that side of the community too, because I just feel I'm a writer and a musician. That's what I do. I don't know what to do for drawing and painting. You know, I really don't know what that community needs.
And also, whenever it comes to that kind of stuff, does it have to be locally, or can it be just anybody from anywhere in the world?
No, I mean, listen, I'm never gonna turn anybody away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care where you're at. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like where we're putting our money and stuff, we're going to be putting our money in locally. You know, we're going to be focusing on Western Pennsylvania when it comes to like throwing events and stuff like that, and doing like in-person things. But I mean, for the digital stuff, like if you can get a hold of me and you can send it to me, I'll read it. You know, yeah. I'm a sucker. If it's in my inbox, I gotta open it, and if it's open, I'm gonna read it.
And it might be something magical. You can't not open it.
And that's the thing that's exactly why I have to read it, because I'm like, this might be the greatest thing I've ever read, dude. And I'm such a fool. I'll never stop tricking myself. Like I'll always have that thought.
I'm with you the same way. I'm that way. Like if I get a text message or I answer it immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I have to answer it. I have to answer all emails.
Yep.
But mail I will toss in the trash. But like digital
Don't send
stuff,
me paper.
Yeah, don't send paper. I'll throw that away. Yeah. Like I threw away a credit card one time, and I was like, I went to Sheetz to get 2 hot dogs, and I said, "Bro, your debit card was declined." I was like, "I have more than $2 in there." You jerks marched up to the bank. They're like, "Yeah, we sent you a new card 3 weeks ago because it was hacked." I was like, "Oh, I guess I'll take some money out of the bank then."
Whoops.
Yeah, dude, I'm the worst for that stuff. I just constantly, like, I get mail, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. It's from the bank. I'm not even going to open it. They send me the same thing once a month. I'm just like, fuck it.
Whatever.
Never going to open it. Just throw it out immediately.
Just over it.
I wonder when mail goes away. Like,
I've heard stories that there's, like, piles of, like, just discarded mail sitting on mailroom floors. I don't know how true that is, but
I don't know why there hasn't been a bigger push towards getting people to use email more frequently. Because think about it, you're spending so much money for trying to send this mail across states, possibly counties.
I mean, there's a push. Like if you have bills, they want you to do digital. Like my
want you to go
mortgage wants me to go
paperless and
paperless,
stuff.
and like you're not helping the environment by not going paperless. They don't. Well, I'm also not, saving you money, but I get that. Just like if McDonald's wants you to round up your bill so they can write it as a tax off thing. It's the same kind of thing with the paperless. Like I think we should do paperless, but like I don't think there's no altruistic thing behind them doing it.
Right, yeah, I don't think they're doing it for the right reasons. They just found a good excuse.
We'd like this money.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody knows tax write-offs, it's you and your dad, Bob.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows how to get audited. He knows how to get audited.
That's funny.
But I don't know.
Got himself.
I've never been audited. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't afford it this year.
You can't afford to get audited? Have you been audited before?
No, I haven't yet, but I'm real scared it's going to happen.
You working on it? The IRS is catching on. They're looking at some documents.
I just do my taxes really fast. You know what I mean? Like, just quick.
Just send an email to the IRS. Just delete the files.
Hunter Biden's laptop with your files on it or something like that. I don't know. I don't do mine until like his last date because they always tell me I owe the money. I'm like, I'll keep that money as long as I can. Thank you very much.
Yeah, fuck that.
Do you know that if you get money back, like you can go 3 years without actually filing your taxes?
Oh, really?
Yep.
They don't care because they owe you money. They don't care. But after 3 years, though, they keep your money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So
yeah,
you
I
gotta
found
wait
that
like
out.
2.5 years.
Yeah, but you don't have to file your tax if they're gonna owe you money. They don't give a shit. Like, oh, well, it's fine.
That's funny.
If you owe them $1, though,
Oh, they give a
you're
shit.
going to jail.
They will find you.
You are fucked.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine that, like, just not caring enough to get the money back if I was owed it. I'd be like, well, whatever.
I don't know, dude. I
What?
wait for that shit every year.
Are you talking about like
Like,
if
let's
you
say-
get tax returns?
Yeah, let's say they owed you money.
I
You're
did
like,
it.
I forgot. You want a couple years?
Yeah, I went 3 years. That's how I found out about the 3 year is the cut line. Where because I was talking to you about this a long time ago.
Remember
Where
that, yeah.
I went 3 years. I mean, I didn't owe anything. Everything was supposed to like come back to me. So I just like it just compounded, and I was like, I'll get this next year. I heard that you could do 2 at a time, blah blah blah. And then I just went up to the H&R Block. H&R Block, thank you very much. they fixed it out. They figured it out.
I
Yeah,
love
they
that you're
they
like,
fixed it.
I have enough money. I live at home. I don't give a shit. I don't need this money. It's fine.
this.
It's fuck your tax refund.
Well,
Peasants.
I thought I was flying a little too close to the sun. It wasn't about me wondering if I was going to get the money back. It was me being like, am I going to be in trouble?
Yeah, are they
Like,
gonna arrest me
yeah.
or find me?
Generally, people don't find you, arrest you for giving them money. They don't really get upset about it.
Yeah.
Don't care too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, you also don't know if you're going to owe money until you do it.
You do your taxes.
Yeah. Which is kind of, shitty that they don't just tell you. Like, hey, this is how much we're supposed to get, and if you get it wrong, you're going to jail.
But white collar jail, not real jail.
Is it really?
It's white collar jail, yeah. You're not
I
getting,
thought-
you're not getting raped
I'm not
there
sure
for
I would
IRS.
Yeah,
No, I
either
don't believe
way.
that's how it works.
I don't think you go to like rapey jail.
Every jail's rapey.
No,
But
white collar jail, bro.
the white collar jails is for like the bankers that failed the economy in 2008. They go to white collar jail. They have to pay $100,000 every day to go to jail.
Brian, look that up.
What, white collar
You
jail?
go to white collar
Yeah,
jail.
white collar jail.
If
What's
you owe like $300 in tax, you don't go to rapey jail.
yeah?
So what do I Google? How do you go to white collar
No,
jail?
if you don't pay your taxes, do you go to rapey jail?
Which,
Yeah.
which
if you don't pay your
jail do you
taxes,
do?
what jail do you go to?
if I'm not
Hold
wrong,
on.
I believe the way to go to a white collar jail is it has to be for fraud for over $100,000, and it can't be a violent crime. If I'm not wrong, I mean you could check me on that,
You have
Brian.
a strange amount of information on that.
I don't know where I
Like,
got that
that's-
information from.
It
like
sounds
that's just
real specific. Like,
Yeah,
By the
I mean,
way, you don't go to jail for not paying your taxes.
Brian
that's
would
good to know. That's good to know.
The
Have you-
IRS cannot put you in jail. That's what Google says. They
I
just-
don't believe that.
They literally put a federal tax lien and they seize your assets and garnish your wages. So they'll literally just take it from your fucking paychecks. Or they'll come take your nice sports car.
Do you know
or
that the
just steal your
IRS
exhaust or your cat. They'll
Or
like,
your
sorry,
house.
got your catalytic converter now.
I love
the
that.
thief.
that's actually what's going on. It's not meth heads. It's the IRS.
It's the IRS still.
Also,
catalytic converters.
collecting back taxes.
They're
and
like, back
cats.
tax is mine. Gonna cash in all the stuff inside and boom, money.
Also,
Profit.
Brian, if you don't mind looking this up, does the IRS have a SWAT team? Because I
The
think
hell?
I heard
if they
of
can't
that.
arrest you, they can't. They don't have
No,
a SWAT
I'm
team.
90% sure.
What are you coming like 7 deep in SWAT gear?
Listen,
Like,
I'm
hey,
not
you owe
the
us 10
person.
bucks.
I'm not the
Oh, now You owe
person.
me money.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
they definitely have a fucking SWAT team. I definitely heard about this at one point. If I'm wrong, I'm retarded, so
You
it doesn't
must have read
matter.
it on a soapbox.
I'm really stuck on the idea of them stealing exhausts. Like I'm picturing like Joe Biden
Oh, wait a
hiring
minute.
300,000
Yeah, hold
people
on.
to steal exhausts. Like they're running Newcastle, little IRS should cut things off.
First thing that pops up on Google is anyone looking forward to highly militarized IRS SWAT?
Look at that. Look at
Wait,
that.
does the IRS have law enforcement?
No, I just think that they have they bought they got themselves like a bunch of high grade weaponry and like
What?
vehicles. Yeah,
Dude,
that's what I
why?
heard. I heard that like there's only 2. It's not big, but I heard that the IRS has like 2 MRAPs and a couple of like
They
Assault
recently there's claims that they had 87,000 new armed IRS agents to aid in enforcement are not rooted in fact. They were trying to get this militarized people to go after people not for paying their taxes. They're
So-
like, sorry, those motherfuckers that
Oh,
think
yeah.
taxation is theft.
now
Come
that,
on now.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I remember hearing about this whenever they were talking like if you have $500 in your bank account, technically the IRS can look at it or something like that.
Yeah,
But I just thought-
they have access to all your records,
Yeah.
like your bank records, because
Yeah.
it's all with your social. It's all
Yeah,
your
but
Social
this
Security.
SWAT team stuff sounds like some Pizzagate bullshit. Like they ain't fucking going after. They don't give a shit.
They don't care.
They're not interested.
Listen, I'm down for
They got bigger
conspiracy
problems.
theories.
They're not tracking what you're doing. They're not interested.
I'm down for conspiracy theories, dude.
Oh yeah,
I'm, like,
absolutely.
I,
all the time.
I
Same.
will.
They
I
got-
will listen to every conspiracy theory there is.
They got to have some kind of basis in fact. Like that's
Why?
nonsense.
no, none at
Why?
all.
What,
I mean,
the
I guess it's
conspiracy
fun
theories?
to talk about them, but they're
Yeah.
happening.
Don't get
Conspiracy
me
theory?
started
You
on
know what I mean?
9/11.
Why?
Don't get me
You know,
started
like,
on
what-
9/11.
Why not just believe in the most nonsensical thing? You know what I mean? Because what different like what do you really fucking know? You know what I mean? What do you really know?
I know that if there was some bullshit with the IRS stealing some money, it would have happened to the man behind the microphone and the radio. Brian,
Yeah,
what
Well,
would have happened
okay,
to?
you're not wrong about
I
that.
know what would have happened to.
But I'm talking
Uh-huh.
when it comes to like greater conspiracy theory. That's my stance on it. Is like what I don't know anything for certain. So why not just have fun believing
Yeah.
the most ridiculous things?
I mean, flat Earth might
That's
be
what I
going a
was
little
going
too
there
far.
too.
Yeah.
Can we
Flat
have a
Earth
flat
is
Earth
far,
conversation?
yeah.
Are we going there?
No.
Yeah.
We can, yeah.
Flat Earth
I'm not a
is
flat
good.
earther,
Is anybody here a
So,
flat Earther? You better not be.
I might be a little bit of one. I could be convinced.
but
because-
I'll entertain it.
Because
yeah.
I watched Behind the Curve, which is a great name on Netflix. Great name.
Okay.
Behind the Curve. And I'm not
I don't
really.
know if that's talking about COVID-19 or
No,
the curve of the world.
It's talking about the mental curve because you're slow, because you're a flat earther. But
All right.
so my cousin works at the EPA and he's a scientist. So I got him a flat Earth map for his office. It's actual map of the flat Earth office, and we were talking about it. And they actually have conventions every year where they go and the flat earthers go and can join. And I wanted to go to one. And before COVID hit, they were going to have a cruise to Antarctica so you could see the ice walls to see where the flat Earth was. And I was going to
Okay.
buy a ticket, and I was going to go. I was going to convert some of these people to my cult and bring them back to me because
Yes.
I'm pretty charismatic. They would follow me.
What were you
yeah.
bringing them back to?
I
The
don't
world
know.
being a globe?
A
No,
dungeon.
I mean,
A
whatever
dungeon.
kind of Kool-Aid I wanted them to drink. It was, 2020 was a wild time.
He was gonna knock him out with one punch.
But they said, what's the most valuable thing in the world? Land. And it's all behind these ice walls. So all the rich people, they're keeping the land to themselves. And I mean, I've never went over the ice caps.
This is a theory. Now, I'll be honest. I have heard this theory. The only thing that flat earthers have that I've been like, is the North Pole. Nobody has fucking taken a picture of that. Not that I'm aware of, folks. Like, nobody has taken a picture of the North Pole or anything like that. And if you look on like any map, I'm 90% sure that there's like not any actual like video or footage of it.
The only
So
thing they
that's
have
the
is like
only thing that's
satellite
weird.
view.
Yeah,
Like if
and
you go
the-
to Google Earth and you look at the satellite view, it shows there's snow there.
Yeah, but there's
also
no-
the poles are shifted too, so it could be shifting a different direction and also melting. So
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what that I'm just saying that's the best argument that flat earthers have. But other than that, they're kind of retarded.
It's interesting.
It's like Kyrie Irving said. Have you seen it? Have you been there?
No,
I haven't
but-
seen it, nor have I been there.
So
But-
Kyrie knows?
You know what I mean?
There's a whole bunch of flat earthers that just like don't believe in like the idea of like NASA is fake, right?
yeah, like the International Space
The
Center.
moon landing,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
But
say it's in Texas.
This is
I'm
this
real
is an
suspicious
argument.
of NASA.
This is an argument I've
Yeah.
never heard get used against a flat earther. Is like, all right, let's just all say that satellites aren't fucking real and nobody is able to get to space. How the fuck did the United States military accurately figure out what the hell was happening in the Soviet Union before they ever had any eyes on it?
Because the government just wanted to start a war with the
Okay,
Soviet
I mean, the
Union?
government has been known to start wars, right?
But do you
Heard
think
that.
that Russia would just be like, yeah, you can fly a plane over us and take pictures? I mean, yeah, we know about U-2s and shit like
Yeah.
that.
Well, it's
but
a
I'm talking
spy
like,
balloon.
and it doesn't have to be specifically Russia. It could also be, let's say, for instance, the Iraq War during the Battle of 97 fucking Hastings. They knew exactly where the Iraqi army was, and it wasn't because of planes; it was because of satellites. So how did the U.S.
Satellites
military?
and drones, man.
Yeah,
In 92? Drones?
Wait,
No,
what was
not
the que-
92.
How did the U.S. military what?
they figured out exactly where Saddam Hussein's forces
Right.
were in Iraq.
Oh, they had inside people within
that-
within the thing, and then they also had like echolocating stuff. They could like see through walls. Like the military has like a lot of stuff to just see through the walls and shit.
Yeah, but I'm saying they had accurate pictures of exactly where the lines were, where there was no planes in the middle of a fucking desert that somebody could not have crossed without
Okay,
GPS.
What is your question?
I'm just saying that's a fucking argument that
Oh, okay.
ends fucking flat Earth bullshit where people are saying that
he's
that's not
defending
real.
satellites. He's saying
Yeah,
satellites are real.
Are proof of the round
But
globe.
Yeah.
they're real. Satellites could be real, but they also could have staged the moon landing. Those two things could be.
I
Those two
feel like
things
they
could be
staged
true.
the moon landing.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
The moon landing is a little bit weird, but I guess we'll
There's
find out
no
in a
wind
couple
on the
years.
moon. How was that flag flying in the air?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me that, brother.
Well, there's no gravity really pulling it down either.
But
I
why would it be
believe.
blowing in the air?
Cam, I don't like
It's
you
not
talking
blowing.
about science.
It's just sitting
Stop.
there. It's just sitting there. It doesn't move. Look it up.
I'm looking it up.
All right.
Cam told him why it doesn't move because of no gravity, and I didn't like him using science. I'm kind of over science in general.
Hey, I like science and bitches.
Fuck
I mean,
science, bro.
Dude, how do I know gravity is real?
Moon
You know what I mean?
landing
How do I know
picture.
gravity isn't just some
Made up thing.
Made up, yeah.
Magnetism.
I don't
I
know,
mean,
man.
This
How do I know
fucking
I'm not
flag
made out
is
of metal?
Flying.
Are you saying that you're down for the flat Earth argument?
No, what?
I'm saying that I'm just
I need
silly
another
enough
set of
to be
eyes to
open
come look
it.
at this and prove me right.
I will say I'm convinced that if I went to a flat Earth convention, I could convince some of those people to do whatever I told them. I'm very convinced.
If you just stayed, you
I
just went on
I
their
would wear
side.
like
Nate,
I'd
is
wear
that
like a
flying
nice
in the
suit
air?
and a
Is
bow
that
tie
blowing
like
in
Tucker
wind?
Carlson used to,
Yeah.
and just bring them to me.
Or maybe instead of a bow tie, like a
Yeah.
A bolo tie?
Blowing in the
there
wind.
Oh,
like
I like those bolo ties. Like, because I look like from Texas, and they'd
and
know
then-
I was legit.
they'd be like, he's a real fucking American.
He's from fucking Texas, but he has a gun rack.
real American. Yeah.
I bet he has panties on his rearview mirror.
Gravity wouldn't do that. Yeah, basically. Well, I think you would because like I've seen old Ronald Reagan clips. No one's really a fan of Reagan, but he said if the government comes to your front door and says, "Hello, we're the government and we're here to help you," don't believe him because it's not true.
Yeah,
I was gonna say. There was something recent with Kamala Harris. She was like, the government's here. We're here to help you. And then COVID happened. And then all the crazy shit starts happening when the government says we're here to help you.
It's definitely suspicious. I
Yeah.
don't know, man.
I mean, it's definitely weird.
I've
but
done a deep dive into the whole 9/11 thing.
I just don't believe that the amount of money spent on the entirety of Iraq and Afghanistan was worth the amount of oil that we got back.
No, and I don't think that anybody would say if that was the idea that it would have been considered a successful operation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as far as false flags go, like, probably wasn't the finest. You know,
here's the
we-
thing you got to think
but
about, too. They had
if it
Operation
was-
Iraqi Liberation, and the acronym was OIL. You know, they had the Operation Iraqi Liberation. So they were supposed to liberate the Iraqi people and try to make a deal and get oil prices, but it was literally spelled oil.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need to
something
do
to chew
like
on, I don't know.
we need to do like a fucking conspiracy podcast, dude, at some point.
well, you definitely could. That could be a full deep dive.
yeah, just nothing.
But let's find someone to talk to. That like, let's get a flat earther. Let's get like I guess we could talk to Brian because he really believes 9/11 was an inside job.
I don't believe in the flat earth thing now.
But no, but let's get someone that like seriously believes about it to talk about because that would be cool. Like to get their opinion on it.
Right, yeah. You get, like, an actual...
Deep dive, on these things like to talk about because that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And also, just for the record, I liked Reagan, so I know I was the only one that was
A
alive.
lot of people didn't agree with him.
I was
so,
the
like,
only one that was alive when he was president. So
I
like,
still believe JFK
I mean, that's
was shot
fair.
by the driver in the car.
what?
The whole JFK thing, he was shot by the driver. In
Reagan
the car,
is
man.
not JFK.
J-
Well, I'm just
they're
saying,
completely
like,
different.
If we're talking about
just
conspiracy
talking about
theories,
other dead presidents.
Wait,
yeah, conspiracy theories. Like,
Oh.
I believe JFK was shot from the car and outside the car.
It was a male model from the grassy knoll. It was in Zoolander.
Well, I was gonna say they have video of JFK sitting there and the driver spinning, and he has a gun in one of the clips, and then
we need to do a fucking conspiracy podcast
Listen.
next week. You guys down?
2 weeks.
I'm in.
2 weeks.
You wanna
Oh,
do
yeah.
Conspiracy
I still
theories
got
in 2
that
weeks?
picture of this flag blowing in the wind on the moon. So
Well, gravity
yeah. So
or lack thereof.
well, we're at like
John Mayer,
Someone
everybody.
likes
John
an
Mayer.
asshole, ask her about the moon landing.
Bring her and be like,
See if she has any.
we'd like
news.
you to come in and talk about how the moon landing was fake.
Yeah.
I know you work for NASA, but
I know you have better shit to do, but will you?
because
She would.
the moon landing is fake, right?
Yeah.
Tell him to come a shiny
Listen,
wheat
you
penny
and
to
your
come talk
entire
about it.
organization are full of shit. Is that what I'm hearing?
And like, but they pay you well, so it's okay. You can keep your lie if you want. Just talk to us about it.
Just
well,
Leave the lie.
you guys want to fucking we'll try and hit fucking NASA next week, but we've been going on for about an hour and 40 minutes. Want to fucking call it quits? All right. See you guys.